We're going to have a busy end of the year as well as going into New Year because obviously we're going to be touching base. Looking forward to coming up to California, coming over to Michigan. Not only Michigan, but going over there to Arkansas as well. I know we've got New York in the house that's represented. Who else do we have on the line? I think we just got our live audience on Facebook as well. We are streaming the call on Facebook. So if you are on Facebook, you can definitely chime in on Facebook and actually watch this live as well. I know we've got so many people that are dialing into the call. Many of our partners that are chiming in globally that cannot dial into this number, they're actually going to be watching it on Facebook, and many others chiming back in on Facebook. I'm going to go ahead and put us in a conference call mode here and make sure that we are muted. So everybody can actually hear. So we've got the conference call bridge running. We've got many of our partners. So glad that you guys are here, chiming in right here on Facebook Live. We are attempting our best to make sure we communicate the message all over the country, all over the world, so that everybody can actually get the same information. Then, of course, this call in its entirety will be loaded onto our team website, www.builditforyourlastname.com or www.BIFYLN, that's BIFYLN.com. So you can go back and do the refresher course. You can watch it over and over. If you're just joining us and you are joining us online on Facebook, I want to say, number one, welcome to the call. Number two, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to share this call on your wall. Share it on your wall. Tag people onto the call. There's so many people in our company and in our organization and really in the profession that need to hear such truth about building a sustainable business within this particular field. And so we're excited to be back and obviously serving in this capacity. You know, many of you know, my wife and I, we traveled recently over to South Africa, and it was just awe-inspiring to see what's happening in our business and the businesses of so many people over in Africa. You know, when you look at the revenues when it comes to the profession of network marketing, you're talking about a profession that generates in excess of $200 billion in revenues a year right now. You've got companies that by themselves are grossing sales of 1.5 billion, some 2 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion a year in total sales. And so this is a growing, thriving profession. You know, a lot of times people ask, you know, how not only how do we know it's growing, but when does it peak, or when is the best time to be in our profession? Well, one of the best times to be in is when the economy is down, because so many different professionals are looking for ways to supplement their income or even to replace their income. So that's one of the great times to be involved in the profession of network marketing. Another great time to be involved in our profession is when the economy is actually up, because people have more discretionary income. They're looking to, obviously try new ventures and so forth and so on. And so this has been the cycle, as it were, when it comes to our profession. But one of the things that you have to notice that, you know, out of all of the continents that network marketing is viable and vibrant and growing, you know, you look at the U.S. markets. You know, the U.S. market is a very strong market for network marketing as a whole. Out of that $200 billion in revenues, just in North America alone, it's estimated about 38 billion in revenues is generated right here in the United States of America. When you swing it over to Europe and over to Asia, matter of fact, you look at Asia's population when it comes to network marketing, I want you to write these figures down because I'm giving these to you for a specific reason. Because if you look at the title of tonight's training and mentorship call, it's about you. You know, it's time for you. It's time for you. You know, a lot of times the other way of saying that is it's my time. And I believe so many of us, we've heard that and we've declared that. And what's taking place a lot of times, we become numb to that language. And I want you to write this down. Les Brown said this: language is the software of the mind. Language is the software of the mind. In other words, Dr. Mike Murdock says, words are the birthplace to feelings. Words are the birthplace to our feelings. And you know, this is such a feel type of business. You know, it's a feeling that you have where you don't have that causes you to go and take certain activities on a daily basis to grow an organization or to grow a customer base or to lead a team. But when you look at Asia, over 80 billion of the $200 billion in revenue is generated right there in Asia in the network marketing profession. When you look at a continent such as Africa, you know, $1.5 billion in total sales in the network marketing profession. So Asia has not been this big hotbed when it comes to network marketing. It has not been known as, you know, a continent that is even remotely close to, you know, the US markets or the Latin American markets or even Asia as a whole. I mean, you look at Africa, you're talking about 1.5 billion only out of the 200 billion in network marketing is generated from Africa. Well, why do I bring that up? Well, there are two types of people that will look at the current state of affairs. Meaning, one type of person will look at Africa as 1.5 billion in revenues and they'll say, you know what, that's an obstacle. There are obstacles there that's causing that to happen. There are obstacles there that's only causing that continent to generate 1.5 billion when it comes to network marketing. Some people say, well, the people are poor. They're famished. You know, the imagery that people have of Africa is not of one that, you know, you would say, okay, this is a place that network marketing can thrive. You know, people will see the obstacles when it comes to the slow internet service or, you know, the communication or the language barriers, the cultural barriers, and all of these types of things. And that's why, you know, some people say, you know what, it's an obstacle. And then there are a few courageous individuals that looked at Africa and are looking at Africa and saying, I see the opportunity. I see the opportunity. You know, it's no different than the story I heard many years ago about the salesman that was sent to Africa. He was sent to Africa to sell shoes, and he gets there to sell shoes, and he calls back to the company after a week of attempting to sell shoes, and he tells his manager, he says, manager, listen, I need you to send me a ticket because I need to leave Africa. They do not wear shoes here. They do not wear shoes here because they do not wear shoes here, I need a plane ticket back so I can leave Africa. Manager sends him a ticket. He flies back to the U.S., says, man, that's not a good territory for us to sell shoes because they don't wear shoes. Another salesman gets sent over into Africa about 6 months later. He's there for about a week with the same shoes. He calls back into the corporate headquarters, talks to the manager and says, manager, please send me more shoes. They don't wear shoes here in Africa. You see, what's the difference, ladies and gentlemen? The first salesman, he saw the obstacles. The second salesman, he saw the opportunities. You know, my question for you has nothing to do with Africa. You know, a lot of times, you know, you see what's happening in terms of the success, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in America, whether it's Australia, whether it's Asia, or whether it's right there in your backyard. Maybe it's that new person that just joined the organization or just joined the company and they run right to director or they run right to executive director. And we oftentimes we have the proclivity to look at what other people are doing and we say, wow, what's going on? How are they doing that? You know, we were just in South Africa the last couple of weeks. My wife and I had a phenomenal time. We were there with Executive Ambassador, our personal sponsor. I call her the Grace of Network Marketing, Miss Twyla Portis, and we put on an event there. But we were just there with her and Matthew and Eileen Harris, global directors that we personally sponsored in this company, $250,000 ring earners. We were there with Kanya Nagata, I said it right, you know, a brand new $100,000 ring earner, national director in the company. He's got almost 14,000 people in his first 12 months in the organization. His first year, just celebrated their first year of being in the business, and he's got, you know, over 14,000 people in his organization. You know, you've got Untatil Intatile. Yeah, that's how you say it. I'm saying these names correctly now, or mispronouncing them, but nonetheless, it was so funny. We're at the event, and Kanye was on stage, and he asked many of the people in the audience, how many of you are ready to go to America and have your names mispronounced as you get awarded your brand new ring? So it's a running joke that we all have, but it just teaches and shows just a little gleam in terms of cultural differences. But we were there with all these incredible people, and when my wife and I landed, we had the fortuitous opportunity to do several in-home meetings with whom we call Magnificent Maggie. And we were there with her and her lovely husband. I just affectionately call him Generous George. He's so generous. He's so warm, so inviting. And we were just doing meetings after meetings after meetings in the living rooms, in the den, showing the plan, talking about the vision and talking about where the company was going, talking about the opportunity right there in Africa, because so many of us know that for that market, for the last year, they've experienced a lot more hardships that many of these other markets have. Whereas it takes them upwards of 4 weeks to get product in. They only have 2 products that are available for purchase right there in South Africa: the T number 1 and number 2, the NRG. But they still managed in the first year to produce and grow a team of over 14,000 people, producing 4 nationals, several regional directors, dozens of executive directors, hundreds of directors, and have now become the second fastest growing market in our entire company. And people say, well, how did it happen? What's going on there? And if you heard not just what I said, but if you understand what I just explained, there are 14,000 people in our organization in the first 12 months there, but only 4 of them have chosen to become national directors. It's no different than what happened in America. It's no different than what's happening in the Latino market. It's not that everybody's succeeding in South Africa. It's not that everybody's succeeding in America. It's not that everybody's succeeding in Asia. It's not that everybody is succeeding in Latin America. It's certain people that have decided it's my time. It's time for you. We started with this message, it's time for Africa. Myself and Matthew Harris, we had a conversation a little over 16 months ago, and we were talking about exactly what I described in terms of Africa as a continent in network marketing. And we talked about, I remember in our first call when I was sharing with those key leaders, remember, leadership is not a noun, it's a verb. I want you to write that down, please. Post that somewhere. Leadership is not a noun. A lot of times, when you look at the description of a noun means a person, place, or thing. A verb is an action word. And a lot of times we begin to hold hostage people based on a title. Maybe they're an executive director or national or regional or global or whatever it is. And then we use that to define them as a leader. But I remember talking with people that were, I don't even believe at the time they were directors, or no one was over an executive director, and we were casting the vision of what was going to happen in that market. And I'm sharing all of this for a specific purpose tonight. Those of you that are building the business, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Asia, America, or Australia, I want you to listen very closely. This business is not about your geographic location. It's about your destination. It's not about your location. It's about the destination. It's about you charting the course of what it is that you see. Are you looking at the obstacles, or do you see the opportunity? Are you looking at the obstacles, or do you see the opportunity? And ladies and gentlemen, over a year ago, many people saw, or many people were looking at the obstacles. And I was casting the vision of, man, what was going to happen? Should we take this serious? Should we endure the process? Because there can be no promise without the process. There can be no promise without the process. And a lot of times we get so fixated with the person's or with people's promises that we skip over their process. I think we overestimate tomorrow and underestimate today. You know, one author said, the man that's sitting in the shade of the tree today ought to be thanking the man that sowed the seed yesterday. Yeah. I always tell you that the harvest never looks like the seed. Many of you misquote that. You say the seed never looks like the harvest, okay? It's the harvest never looks like the seed, because the seed is always small. The seed is always small. Did you hear me? The seed is always small. You may have a small book of business right now. You may have a small dream, a small vision right now. But do not discount the days of small beginnings. The harvest never looks like the seed. I oftentimes tell people this because I have lived not vicariously through other people's experiences when it relates to building this type of business. I always tell people that we are not the fastest, we're not the tallest, we're not the strongest, we're not the loudest, we're not the most profitable, but I know what I know. I know what it is that I know. And I'm telling you right now, what I know is the harvest never looks like the seed. You can count the amount of seeds in an apple, but you can never count the amount of apples that come from one single seed. Dr. Mike Murdock said it this way. He says, the seed that leaves your hand, it never leaves your life. Did you hear what I just said to you? You ought to post that somewhere. The seed that leaves your hand, it never leaves your life. It goes into your future where it is multiplied. And a lot of us, the challenge with us in this business, and I venture to say even in your life, because T. Harv Hecker said, how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm getting excited. How you do anything is how you do everything. The challenge with many of us is that we sow seeds. Remember, what is a seed? A seed is the beginning of a thing. A seed is the genesis of a thing. We sow a seed, and when we sow the seed into soil that oftentimes we keep checking to make sure it is sown. In other words, many of us, we dig up the seeds we've sown with our own doubt. Faith will move mountains, doubt will create them. Write that down, please. Your faith will move mountains, but your doubt will create them. Your faith will move mountains. What is faith? One iteration of faith comes from the book of life. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things yet not seen. An acronym for faith is FAITH, finding answers in the heart, or forgetting everything else and figuring it out. Finding answers in the heart. Faith. But you know what we do? And I've done it before, because what happens is we start looking versus seeing. Dr. Miles Monroe says, eyes that look are common, but eyes that can see are rare. And my challenge for every single leader tonight is stop looking and begin to see. Stop looking at your current obstacles and begin to see your opportunities. And the challenge with many of us is that we keep praying for furniture. Teach, Jarrod. You're praying to God to give you furniture, and God is saying, I don't make furniture. God does not make furniture. He only gives you a tree. When he gives you the tree, the question becomes, do you see the tree's obstacles or do you see the opportunity? If you can really look at the tree that God has given you, and you can begin to develop it and craft it and imagine it and pull down the barks and shape it and mold it and be patient and be proficient and be instinctive and doable and patient and courageous. You can begin to craft the tree into a chair. You can begin to craft the tree into a desk, into a table. But many of us, you have a list of people that you see obstacles through and you never see the opportunities. And because you don't see the opportunities, you begin to do what amateurs do, is you doubt. And so, yes, you've sown seeds. But how many of us have put our hands in the same soil to pull out the seeds with our doubt? I don't know if I can requalify. I don't know if this thing is working because I see people leaving the company. I had a friend of mine I was talking to the other day, and we were talking about this whole notion of people leaving the company and people joining the company, because here's the deal. People will come and people will go. There will be a lot more to come, and there will be several people to go. Does that make the company bad? No. Does it make the company good? No. It makes the company what it is, a company. But here's what I was sharing with him. I said, it's so fascinating to me that people get so focused and distracted and doubtful based on people that have left when their volume never counted in your back office. Did you hear me? The people that have left, many of them were not even in your organization. So them leaving has nothing to do with your volume. How much volume did you lose because they left? They weren't even in your group. But you are so distracted, and because you're distracted, you seep into doubt. And what happens is this: when people get into doubt, they start spreading doubt rumors. They start spreading doubt gossip. They start spreading doubt seed. Matter of fact, I want you to write this down and take a picture of it, quote me on it. Gossip is the seed, or gossip is the tax you pay for becoming successful. Did you hear me? Gossip is the tax you pay for becoming successful. Do you know my wife and I, there have been people all around this company for the last year that have spread gossip that we're leaving? I'm not talking about for the last month or the last 2 months, for the last year. They have suggested to people that we are leaving the company. We're making an exit strategy. We're not promoting total life changes. We're positioning ourselves to leave. They've been saying this for over a year. Why am I bringing that up? Because in this business, ladies and gentlemen, you will face adversities. Yeah. Adversities must be faced. You cannot, listen to me, you cannot face Goliath publicly until you've defeated the bear and the lion privately. Come on, David. You cannot defeat your Goliath publicly until you have defeated your bear and your lion privately. And my question for you today is, what lions, what bears have you been avoiding privately? Have you been avoiding the 100-pound bear called the telephone? Picking that phone up and making prospecting phone calls to new people? I was so proud of Mr. Felice, Ranger over here, brand new IBO, brand new associate that we've personally sponsored in the business. You don't know his name right now. It's okay. Many weeks ago or many months ago, you didn't know Kanya Tagata. You didn't know Entati. You didn't know Busisiwe Meshele. You didn't know Matthew and Eileen Harris. You didn't know Pinky. You didn't know many of these people, because here's the thing that I've recognized about our business. I want you to write this down. Even though they don't know your name, it doesn't forfeit your next. Come on, Jarrod. Even though people don't know your name, it does not forfeit your next. In other words, I love when people don't know these new names, because they're stuck on yesterday. People are stuck on the current story. They don't see the developing leaders. But I was so proud of him, because he and I, we had a coaching session a few weeks ago before we left for South Africa. And he was talking about, what he wanted to do and what he wanted to accomplish. I said, that's phenomenal. We had done several launch calls, and he had already sponsored multiple people. And he was talking about, the attrition and people quitting and why is it not duplicating? And I asked him a question. I said, how many people have you personally sponsored into the business? And he gave me the number. I said, okay, that's awesome. The reason why you don't see the duplication is because you have not personally sponsored enough, hear me, of the right people. I want you to write this down. Mentorship is wisdom without the wounds. Mentorship is wisdom without the wounds. Mentorship is wisdom without waiting. Mentorship is the shortcut. The question that I always ask leaders is the advice, the coaching, the mentorship that you received. Have you implemented it, or are you sitting on it? And I asked him, and he told me. And I said, what you need to go and do is you need to go and personally sponsor another 6 to 8 new legs of business. We were talking just the other day. He personally sponsored, I think it was two more people, and is putting in 3 people tomorrow. That's a total of 5 new people that he's personally enrolled into the business within the last 2 weeks. That's somebody I can mentor. That's somebody I can coach. Here's my question for you. Who's coaching you? Who's mentoring you? I want you to write this down too. Opposition is the sign that you're in position. Did you hear me? Opposition is the sign that you're in position. I don't want you to start planning for 2018 and you have not endured the process of 2017. So many of us are such in a rush and such in a hurry to leap into 2018 and we have not finished 2017. Yes, you should plan for 2018, but I can tell you this, you cannot win the game of 2018 with failed plans of 2017. So many of us, we're going to repeat the same disastrous 2017 and 2016 that we are going to experience in 2018 because we have not taken the time to implement the coaching. We've heard it. We've listened to it. We've watched other people implement it. We've applauded. We've celebrated. And some of us have even gotten envious and jealous. And it has corroded your spirit and not allowed you to implement in your own vineyard. You're so distracted by this squirrel over here and by that shiny object over there and who's making money in that company and who's leaving this company and who's sleeping with who in this company and who's doing this in that company and who got sponsor placed over here and whose volume has gone backwards and whose volume has grown forward and what country is moving and what country is not moving. My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you were on the top enrollers list? My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you promoted a director? My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you showed the plan at somebody else's home? My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you did an opportunity call? My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you personally did a 3-way call with your plugged-in upline? My question for you, ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you sowed a seed and didn't dig it up with your doubt? As I reflect on our brief 22 months. In January, we make 24 months. So what are we in? We're in November. So this is 22 months that we've been building our business within the Total Life Changes company. As I reflect on this last 22 months, it's been filled with what Jim Rohn calls opportunities and difficulties. Opportunities and difficulties. I venture to say the next 22 months will be filled with more opportunities and difficulties. The next 2 years will be filled with another set of opportunities and another set of difficulties. The next 22 years of our careers will be filled with opportunities and difficulties. And I can space them out in 3 different phases of the business. The first phase you and I will grow through in this business is the dream phase. The dream phase is where you're positive. You're in the creative phase of your business. The dream phase is when you don't look, but you see. The dream phase is when you've seen results with our products. You've seen results with the compensation plan. The dream phase, all that dream phase, you begin to picture your success. It's one of the 4 philosophies of a 6- and a 7-figure earner. It is picturing your success. You begin to see it. I mean, think about when you first got started. You were excited. Oh, you had so much vim, you had so much vigor, you had so much excitement around what was going to happen in your business. You weren't caring about who quit and who hadn't joined because you were just getting started. And there's a difference between just getting started and beginning to get engaged. But in that dream phase, Oh, things are phenomenal. It's the honeymoon phase of every relationship. That's when, you talk to her on the phone to 2 o'clock in the morning and you fall and asleep on the phone and you ask her, you sleep? And she says, no, you sleep. That's the dream phase. I mean, it's all Hallmark cards and roses. It's romantic. It's sexy. The dream phase is when, oh, he got 6-pack abs, ladies. Oh, he's tall, dark, and handsome. I mean, he's saying all the right things. He's writing you the love notes. I mean, you're waking up in the morning to rose petals and orange juice freshly squeezed. The dream phase. The dream phase is where, yeah, she wakes up and she didn't go to sleep with rollers in her hair. She wakes up and she got on matching. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. This PG-13 or rated G. Yeah, it's matching both top and bottom. I mean, the dream phase of any relationship is when, yeah, she got the breath smells good and oh man, she got the Coke bottle shape and she's working out. Y'all working out together. You're communicating. You're in sync. Everything is within harmony. You talk to him. You speak to the king in him and not the fool of him. The dream phase. The dream phase in the business is like the dream phase in any relationship. The dream phase, you only see the good. You see the potential. You see the opportunity. You don't focus on the obstacles. The dream phase. The dream phase of this business. You begin to think of all the $50,000 ring earners you can have, all the $100,000 ring earners you're going to have in your organization. You begin to imagine the $250,000 ring earners and the $500,000 ring. Oh man, you begin to see yourself on the stages, painting on the canvases of people's imagination where they can be, what they can do, and what they can have. Because during the dream phase, this is your most prolific phase in the business because you begin to see yourself. The dream phase. The dream phase, you're shooting everything. I mean, you're in your zone. In the dream phase, you've got your list written out. In the dream phase, you begin to articulate with authenticity where you're going. In the dream phase, you begin to see the best in people. In the dream phase, you don't see things as they are. You see things better than they are. You don't call those things that be. You call those things that be not as though they were. In the dream phase, the dream, one of the greatest speeches ever written was, I have a dream. It's not I have a compensation plan. It's not I have the best products. It's I have a dream. Whew. In the dream phase, see, the dream is what pulls together the team. Did you hear me? Write that down, please. The dream pulls together the team. See, in the beginning, 23 months ago, when we had this dream, I told people I had a dream and I saw myself. We were in South Africa and my wife was on stage and she was edifying. She was speaking so highly of me and she was talking about the honor she has for me, the respect and all of these great things. And she went on and shared and I was blushing. You couldn't tell because I'm chocolate, but I'm on stage and she was saying these wonderful things about me and what we've been able to accomplish together and all of these phenomenal things, and women and men alike were clapping. It was thousands of people in that auditorium and she was talking about these things and it hit me. It hit me. One of the things that I never wanted to lose was how she felt about me. And so many men, so many of you men, you have lost, I'm coming for you tonight, you have lost the respect of your woman because you haven't pursued your work. You've lost the respect of your woman because you're lazy with your work. There are two things that I despise. I absolutely despise a messy woman and a lazy man. I absolutely despise messy women and lazy men. But one of the things for me was to make sure my woman saw me going after my work. A helpmate can only help you when you found what you need help doing. But the dream. If there's one thing I can encourage you tonight to do is get clear on your dream. What do you dream? So many of us have allowed our dreams to die, whereby, yes, thousands of people die every single year because of what they eat, but millions more have died because of what's eating them. The dream phase. I began to dream, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to cover the technological savviness that you need to have. I'm not going to cover the strategies and the techniques. All of that gives you no power if you don't have a dream. The dream is the fuel for your business. The dream begins to give you clear identity for the vision that you will spread. The dream, what do you see? The dream. I remember dreaming about these moments. I remember dreaming about these moments. I remember dreaming of what we were going to do and what we were going to be and what we were going to have and the lives we were going to touch. I remember in my depressed state coming out of a place of depression. See, you only slide into a place of depression because you listen to the enemy's objective about your life. Who is an enemy? I'm glad you asked. Write it down. An enemy is anyone that sabotages your influence and silences your voice. I'll repeat it. I want you to write that down because so many of us are giving people the title enemy that are not. And you're giving a misnomered direction to people and holding folks close to you that are enemies of you. An enemy is anyone that tries to sabotage your influence and silence your voice. But as I was coming out of that place of depression, it was the dream, what I saw, that pulled me out of depression. It was the dream that pulled me back to my feet. So the first phase you have to find is your dream. What do I want? So many people know how to operate and have the functionalities figured out of a smartphone more than they do their own life. You can operate in the settings of an iPhone and even an iPad, and some of you an Android. You know how to operate those better than you know how to operate your own life. You don't even know what you want, and that's okay. Figure out what you don't want. When we talk about this vision of building it for your last name, it's not a team name. It's not just some fancy words on a shirt. It's not some hashtag that we just put up. You're looking at the surface and missing the substance. I put up a post, I think it was day before yesterday, that a movement is not created by a man. A movement is not created through hashtags. A movement is not created through brands. A movement is not created through flyers. A movement is created through a God-inspired moment. And in the moment, I was inspired to dream again. I wish it was that simple. I wish it was that easy. Les Brown says, in life, if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. In life, if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what's hard, your life will be easy. I wish it was that easy that you could just dream and what your dream manifests. I wish it was that easy that you could just dream and you tell people about the dream, you tell people about the vision, and they say yes, and before you know it, you're a director, or you're a regional, or you're executive, you're a national, you're global. I wish it was that easy, but ladies and gentlemen, it's not that easy. You will go through the next phase. The next phase is the drama phase. Get ready. Buckle up, Buttercup. You're going on a ride. See, I want you to write this down, please. All true visions must be tested for authenticity. Did you hear me? Please write that down. Tag somebody in that. Tag somebody that calls themselves on the grind. Tag somebody that says they want to get to global. They want to get to ambassador, executive ambassador. Tag somebody that says they've got a dream. That all true dreams, all true visions must be tested for authenticity. A faith that has not been tested is a faith that cannot be trusted. Yeah, you want to win, but let's see how bad you want it. That's when you enter into the drama phase. We were in South Africa. Nelson Mandela is heralded as a national monument. He's got monuments. Do you know he's on every rand in the country? The rand is their currency. His face is plastered on every single rand. His name is remembered. He's memorialized. He's got museums and artifacts. He's got restaurants. He's got streets. He's got things to remember his legacy, not because of his dream, but because he was able to endure the drama. He was willing to sit in a prison cell for 27 years. Do you know what you lose in 27 years? Do you know who you lose in 27 years? You have not gotten to the destination because you're not willing to lose people. You're not even willing to lose yourself. See, who you see today is not who I was. I have died to who I was so I can give birth to who I have become. You've got to be willing to die. Some old habits you're going to have to let die. Some old thoughts you're going to have to let die. Some old envy and jealousy and ridicule and minuscule thinking you're going to have to let die. Because in the drama phase, you're forced to sit in what some people call your prison. In the drama phase, you may not be sitting in prison, but you may be forced to sit at director. You may be forced to sit at national. You may be forced to sit at global. You may be forced to sit at regional in the drama phase, because we got to test you. What happens when you lose legs of business? What happens when the people that are supposed to be in your upline want to leave you behind? What happens in the drama phase when people that said, I'll be there with you, the people that said, I'm locking arms with you, they begin to leave and go to this company and get out of the business, and the same people that you helped begin to hurt you. It's the drama phase. They laugh at you. They lie on you. They lie about you. They spread rumors. They gossip. They try to divide and conquer. They want to rip everything you're building apart, not because you've done anything, but maybe because they want everything. It's the drama phase. This is the phase that not so very often we discuss publicly in network marketing. But I'm telling you, privately, behind the scenes, you've got people that are leading even while bleeding. In the drama phase, you must learn how to lead even while you bleed. In the drama phase, you may be in the prison, but you still have to preach the palace. In the drama phase, people don't want to hear about your prison. They want to know, do you still see the palace? They want to know, do you still see the promise? In the drama phase, and here's what happens with many of us. In the drama phase, we begin to look at people that have passed the phase of their drama and are now at their destination. We begin to look at people that are now winning, and we think they have not had to endure and grow through the drama phase of their business. We begin to idolize and find ourselves scrolling through the timelines of people that have no interest in what's going on in your world. Let me say something to you, and I will close in a moment on this note. Your prospects may see your post, but your upline sees your production. Shucks. Your prospects may see your post, but your upline sees your production. Baby, I don't care what you post in the front office. I care what's posting in the back office. And let me park parenthetically right here. So many of you are falling prey and victim to the marketing and missing on the networking. In other words, I don't care how many daggone flyers they post. I do not care how many crowd shots they send. I don't care how many stages they're on. What I look for is the results. See, what's posted is marketing. What's produced is networking. Let me say it again. What is posted is marketing, but what is produced is networking. Let me see how many directors you have on the list. That shows me your networking. Let me see how many times you've shown up on that list in the last 12 months as a top enroller. That shows me your networking. Let me see on the recruiting list your name showing up, or people that you've personally sponsored, like a Tiffany Young, whose name has showed up on the top recruiters list. Let me see the countries that you claim you're working in. Are they in the top 10? That shows me your networking. I could care less about the pictures of you in front of a crowd. I could care less about your pretty flyers and banners. I could care less that you got 5 and 10,000 views on your social media page. I could care less about any of that. That's all marketing. But I want to see, are you producing even while you're in the drama phase? Now, I'm not coming after anybody. I'm coming after everybody, and me included. Some of you'll listen to this message, you'll nitpick and cropped out and screenshot, and you send it to somebody. Ooh, who he talking about? I'm talking about you with your messy self. If you didn't see it with your own eyes, you didn't hear it with your own ears, don't repeat it with your big mouth. So many of you have cost people millions of dollars because you're spreading gossip instead of the gospel. And I'm done, y'all. That's the drama phase. In the drama phase, we see if you're real. In the drama phase, we see if you're relevant. In the drama phase, we see if you're radical. In the drama phase, we see if you're rated R or if you're rated G. The drama phase calls to question how serious you are. The drama phase always calls to question your commitment. I am concerned with so many of you would-be spiritual people, you grounded people that are so schizophrenic with your decisions. You have bipolar decision making. One day you're hot, the next day you're cold. One day you're going for it, the next day you're lower than the pregnant ant. I am concerned that you've got so much word, but so little work. Shucks. I am concerned that you sit here, you get these faith-filled messages, but you're impotent in your delivery to produce on the word that you keep hearing. I am concerned that in the drama phase, you begin to shrivel up but yet you idolize Dr. Martin Luther King. You talk and quote from scriptures and texts. You talk about Jesus and you talk about Muhammad and you talk about these men that you're not even worthy to mention because you have no faith. It was Jesus that was talking to people like you. Oh, ye of little faith. I'm concerned that you've given yourself the title of a believer, but your life is full of doubt. I am concerned that one day you're committed to building this, and the next day you're distracted by them building that. I'm concerned that even in 2017, you still can't see the drama phase. The drama phase is what qualifies your authenticity. I don't care if you're making $1,000 a month or $1,000 a day. Can you deal with the drama? Well, Jarrod, it's just too much drama in network marketing. I'm going to go do something else. Ladies and gentlemen, as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest time. Seed time. Seed. Then there's time. Seed. I sow seed and then I have to wait on time. Seed time. Seed time. A lot of us want to go from seed to harvest. No, baby, you got to go seed time. Put in the time. I don't care about your talent. Did you put in the time? I don't care how great you speak, how eloquent of a speaker you are. It doesn't matter how well groomed, dressed you are. Did you put in the time? Seed time. I told Felice, you need to be prospecting 2 to 5 people a day. 2 to 5 people a day. You're not talking to 2 to 5 brand new people a day. You ain't planting seeds. You're asking for the universe to meet a need, and you haven't planted a seed. Seed time. Seed over time. Seed over time. Well, Jarrod, I've been planting the seeds, and it doesn't seem to be working. It is working. When you sow a seed, hear me. When you sow a seed, a farmer never sows a seed and expects a harvest in the same season. Did you hear me? You never sow a seed and expect a harvest in the same season. But I can tell you this, a seed of nothing will always produce a harvest of nothing. A seed of nothing will always produce a season of nothing. I told a young lady when we were in South Africa, we were talking about what's taking place in our business right now. And I told her, I'm not surprised as what's going on. I'm not surprised at the success that many people on our team are seeing. I'm not surprised at the growth and the revenues that are being generated. I'm not surprised. I am not shocked because we sowed the seeds. Buddy of mine called me today. He says, man, that was an interesting statement. You sounded so assured. You sounded so convicted. You knew it was going to be South Africa. I told him, no, I didn't know it was going to be South Africa, but I knew I had seed. My question for you is, do you have seed during the drama? See, during the drama phase, most people stop sowing. During the drama phase, most of us stop sowing. How do you know you're in the drama phase? Because you're not quite yet at the destination. It's like if you go to a vending machine. You've never gone to a vending machine. You've never gone to a vending machine and let's say it cost $1 to get your Coca-Cola or $1 to get your chips. You've never put in, hear me, 50 cents into the vending machine and expected the Coke to come out. So many of us, we've put in 50 cents, but the full price is $1. If you look at the screen and you press the button, it will say not enough change. It will show you that you haven't put in enough seed time to get your harvest time. It will show you, it's very definitive, it's very clear. And in this business, ladies and gentlemen, you're not at the destination. You're not at a point of destiny until you let go of the history. I don't care who quit. I don't care who left. I don't care who didn't get started. I don't care who's lying. I don't care who's gossiping. That's a part of the process. You are complaining that people aren't joining. That's the problem. You're speaking it. As you speak your word, so shall it be done unto you. Can you go a day without being negative about your business? Maybe the reason why your account is in negative is because the account is in negative. What do you mean the account? Your account. The account, your accounts, what you're counting, account of what you're doing is negative. The drama phase. The third phase you'll lead into is the destination. Oh, this is where things are on and popping. It gets greater later. Oh, this is where the money is coming in. And it's just coming in. I mean, it's coming in so fast you've been wondering, where in the world have you been for so long? I mean, the money's coming in where you're living your life. I mean, you're not dating your wife in America. You date her in Africa. You date her in Australia. You start taking your spouse to different continents. You know you're in the destination phase when people are making more money in a month than you used to make in a year. And they're on your team. You know you're in the destination phase when you've got your dream car and so does she. Shucks. You know you're in the destination phase when you can write a check to the IRS in 1 month for what you used to make in 1 year. You know you're in the destination phase when you ain't bad-mouthing nobody. You know you're in the destination phase when you're smiling in their face when they're lying behind your back. You know you are in the destination phase when you are becoming the topic of conversation, both good and bad. See, ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of the business, you'll do a lot of things and not get paid for them. But in the destination phase of the business, you'll get paid for a lot of things you're not doing. The destination phase is when you now have a MLM house. Because you're in multi-level marketing, now you got multi-levels of your mansion. In the destination phase, this is where you're able to give more to church and charity in a month than most people do in a lifetime. In the destination phase, yes, you'll be in magazines as a portrait of possibility. Yes, you will get your ring as an example of what's possible. Yes, people will be saying to you, thank you for your yes. And they'll say it to you in different languages. They'll come to you with tears in their eyes and say, I'm fired up and ready to go. In the destination phase, you will sit and you will wonder how I made it over. In the destination phase, they will crown you president. They will crown you prime minister. And you'll look back on the times when you were in the drama phase, trapped in that prison. See, you start with the dream. You endure the drama. And then you're celebrated at the destination. Dream. Drama, destination. Dream, drama, destination. But I want to let you know it's a fixed fight, baby. And in the end, you win. leaving this call, here's my marching orders to everybody. Number one, I want you to start prospecting 2 to 5 people a day. Talking to 2 to 5 new people a day, meeting 2 to 5 new friends a day. That's what I want you to do for the remaining of this week until I meet with you on Sunday. I want you talking to 2 to 5 new people a day, 2 to 5 new exposures a day, 2 to 5 new friends a day. That's what I want you doing. That's my charge for you. Number 2, within the next 7 days, I want you in somebody's living room showing the plan. I want you doing an opportunity call for a brand new person. I want you in the next 7 days, I want you sponsoring a brand new person. In the next 7 days, I want you speaking nothing but positive about your business. As a matter of fact, in the next 7 days, every time you say something negative or contrary to what you want happening in your business, I want you to charge yourself $10. Have you a negative jar put aside. Anytime you say something contrary or anything that is not in alignment with where you want to be in your business, I want you to pay yourself or pay a fine of $10. Find somebody that can hold you accountable. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you do these things that I've just described. I promise you, you will land in the place of destiny. God bless you. God bless your family. And God most certainly bless your dreams. Do me a favor. If this message resonated with you, I want you to share it on your wall. I want you to tag some people in it and tell them, I'm dreaming. I'm going through my drama, but I will be at the destination.